Hi, friends. It is so good to be here with you again. I am just going to give it a minute, see if any of the friends are going to join me live. I know some of the friends come on and watch as a playback. So we'll just give the ones who are coming on live, give them a moment to be notified and to join. Hi, friend. I'm not winking. I'm not winking at you. I am just My eyes have been bothering me for a little bit. Hi, Erin. So good that you're able to join me live. Welcome. We're just on here for a few minutes today just to chat books. I usually come on live most weekdays, and the times are varied and the duration is varied. But I do, yes, you finally made it. I'm so happy that you are here live. The time is sometimes a little different because my schedule is a little different every day. But I just wanted to come on here and chat with you for a few minutes, talk with you a little bit about some books that I've been reading and some books that I want to pick up next. So, one of the goals that I had this year was to participate in a challenge that I do on Facebook twice every year. It's called Book Challenge by Erin. The creator's name is Erin Gray, and twice a year, she hosts this challenge, which goes on for 4 months. And the month before the challenge starts, she sends out a list of prompts, and you have to choose a different book to meet each prompt. And so I created this list that I wanted to use to meet the current challenge, which ends at the end of October. And I thought I was very strategic. I thought I was very strategic. I chose books that I thought I wanted to read for other reasons. Of the 10 books, one, two, three, four, no, one, two, three, four, yeah. Four of them were books that I had to read for the BookTube Prize, and so far those are the only books that I have finished. So the challenge ends at the end of October, and I still have 6 books to read for that, but actually make it 7, because the book that I chose for one of the prompts was to read a book with a STEM female character. I don't know why. I don't know why I did this. But instead of something simple, I chose this book, Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez, which is book 2 in a series. So I haven't yet read book 1. So before I could read this to meet the challenge prompt, I have to read this, which is part of your world. Um, the camera's a little wonky, so I'm trying to figure out the best way to put it. This way. I don't need to read them in order. I could just read this one. I'm sorry. I could just read this one. Oh, well, then that's good to know. So this is the book I'm going to pick up next. But yeah, I I haven't yet read anything from her. Have I? I don't think so. I don't think I've read anything from her. I read something from Allie Hazelwood. I read something from Emily Henry, haven't I? And those are the two blurbers on here. Those, I think, are the authors whose works are most compared to Emily. I'm sorry, Abby Jimenez. But yeah, when I looked up a recommendation of a book with a female character in STEM, this was probably the highest, or the book that had the highest number of ratings, not necessarily the highest rated, the highest number of ratings, because it's the most popular of the books that I had found. And so I just chose this one. I said, I'd like to read something that's popular. But then I thought that I had to read this. So thank you so much, Erin. See, Erin, there was a reason that you made it to the live today. It is to give me 372 pages of reading time back because I was going to read this today. So I just picked these up from the library. I went to the library to pick to collect them. I put them on hold. So I just got these and I'm very excited that now I can start reading. Thank you. Thank you so much. My cozy little library is here. Hi, friend. So my current read is this one, The Grand Paloma Resort by Clavis Natera. She is the author of Neruda on the Park, and she's from the Dominican Republic. She lives in the United States now, but we have her as the author that we are focusing on for the Runwright Reads Book Club this month. So Neruda on the Park was our original book club selection, but because she published another book this year, I wanted to give the book club members or book club readers, book club discussers, I wanted to give them an opportunity. I wanted to give everyone an opportunity to choose the book that they wanted. If they wanted to read both books or just this one or just the other one, that we could discuss the two books from this author when we have our discussion on November 2nd, November 1st, 2nd, November 2nd. So I'm currently reading it. It is set on a resort in the Dominican Republic, and we're following two sisters, one of whom, well, both of whom work on this resort. One is an executive, and the other is a lower level worker. She works as a babysitter. And at the beginning of the novel, we see that there is an issue with the babysitter and one of her charges. And as we try to unravel what happened with the child, we're also unraveling what has been going on with this family. Um, the sisters are a little separated in age. One is about 10 years older, and a little bit of their family dynamics, their relationship dynamics, um, some of the things that are happening with the other members of the team on the resort, and just everyone trying to kind of take advantage of other people and hoping that someone else is going to intervene. There are lots of iterations of that same story. There is, yeah, like it's complex and it's messy, but it's also a really good read thus far. I didn't get a chance to read too much over the weekend, so I'm hoping to finish it today. I'm at page 137. So add it to your TBR. I'm really intrigued. Like, I'm intrigued by the idea of reading about a book that's set on a resort experience, something that could be paradise for someone, but very terrible for someone else, because the people who are there to cater to your every whim and fancy, um, sometimes they are giving more of themselves than they would like to. So I am currently reading The Grand Paloma Resort by Clavis Natera. And I think if we do a little bit of a reading sprint today, this is what I'll be reading. But yeah, other things that I want to pick up very soon include the other books that I have on my list for the challenge on Facebook. I'll tell you what the other titles are that I have chosen. One is The Bone People by Carrie Holm, which I have somewhere on my Booker Prize winning shelf. And I had chosen that because one of the prompts was to get a book that had a body part in the title, and so I chose The Bone People. I needed a book for an Asian setting, and I chose The Makioka Sisters by Tanizaki, and I requested that from the library. I'd gotten it. I got it some time ago, and I had to return it, so I requested it again. It hasn't come back in yet, so I don't know how many of these books I'll be able to read before the end of October, but I'm going to try. Then I needed to find a book that had a domestic cat on the cover, and I chose Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Kawaguchi, and I also requested that from the library. It's a book that I have heard some very mixed things about, so I don't know if it's something that I will enjoy, but I want to try. Like, whenever a book is popular, whether I think it's going to be something I will love or not, I at least want to participate in a conversation. So the other two books, I showed you the book for the STEM female character. I had chose Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. I needed a book that had been turned or has been turned into a TV series, and I chose Mr. Loverman by Bernadine Evaristo, and that is coming to me at the library as well. And the other books are the books that I read for the book club. A book with a plural title, I have Glorious Exploits by Ferdia Lennon, which was a little bit of revisiting the Athenian War. Um, then I had to choose a book by an author who has more than 10 books. And I'd read Long Island by Colm Toybin, and I read that for the BookTube Prize, as well as Glorious Exploits. I don't know if I mentioned that. Then I had to read a book that has a rainbow cover, and I had Wandering Stars by Tommy Orange, which was a BookTube Prize book. And for my freebie, I had My Friends by Hisham Matar, and that was also a BookTube Prize read. So far, I may be on track to get halfway through the challenge, but I'm going to try to see if I could finish. I did this earlier this year with the first round of the challenge, the spring part of the challenge. I had several books that I needed to read at the end of the month, and I'd set myself a little readathon, and I tried to see how many of the books I could read. And it's like 10 books in 15 days, and several of them were for that challenge. And I was able to read all the books that I needed to read for that challenge. And some of the others. So I didn't quite read all 10 books in the 15 days, but I read a lot of them. I think maybe eight, started a ninth book. So I don't know. I think I'm going to try. I'm going to see how I'll do with this. I don't know if I'll finish it. Erin wants to know if Before the Coffee Gets Cold is a book of short stories. I don't know if it's short stories. I do know that it's a lot of characters that we're following, and the stories are all linked in terms of where they're happening. Like the setting is the same. So I don't know if it's going to be more short stories um, or more novel, like focusing on a setting as opposed to a group of characters. I'm not sure. I will tell you. I'll tell you when I've read it. I'm hoping that I'll get to that. I'm hoping that I'll get my copy from the library and be able to read it by next week. We'll see. We will see. So those are some of the books that I have coming up on my radar. I am hoping that we'll get a book package later today because we have some books that are coming out tomorrow, and I would like to believe that the publishers are going to send me at least one of them. So I'll come back on later. If I get a book package, I'll come back on to share it with you. Yeah. I'll come back on later to share it with you. But for now, I think we're going to do a little 15-minute reading sprint and then chat until 1 o'clock. So it is 12:43 my time. I'm going to set the timer for 15 minutes, and we'll come back on at 12:58, and then we'll chat for 2 minutes, and then we'll go because I'm going to have to leave a little after 1. So let me know in the comments what you're going to be reading if you're reading along with me. I am going to continue this. I'm actually really intrigued about some of the things that I was just reading when I had it this morning. So I'm going to start reading. Let me know in the comments if you're reading along with me, what you're reading, and if you're not reading, what you're doing. if you're cleaning, if you're watching a video, yeah. So we'll see each other in 15 minutes. Oh, the Ghostwriter. Erin is starting The Ghostwriter by Julie Clark. Nice. Okay. Man, time just runs so fast. The timer went off, but I was just trying to get to the end of a chapter, but I realized now I still have about 5 more pages in the chapter, so I'm gonna have to put it aside. So I'll tell you a couple of minutes what's been going on in the book, without giving you a spoiler. So someone someone has gone missing, and it's a lot of discussion about, of course, trying to figure out where the missing person is and who may be responsible. So there are some cameras, and they can tell people who were in the vicinity at the time, but they don't actually have a crime being committed on camera. So it's a lot of suspicion, but it's also very political because it's happening around the resort, and you don't want any negative publicity associated with the resort unless it is absolutely certain that this is what happened. And it's hard to figure out what happened if you're not doing the right investigation. And because of the political nature, is the right investigation going to happen? So very interesting where I am, and I want to continue, but I have to run. So thank you so much for joining me live. I will come back on later if I get a book package to share with you. Otherwise, I'll be on here tomorrow, and I'll try to come on maybe around midday tomorrow, so we can do a little talking about books that are coming out. And maybe I would have finished that one and started maybe I would have finished this one and started this one, so we could chat a little bit more about books that I am reading. And I think we'll try to go through a little bit of a list that I worked on recently that we could discuss. So, those are some of the things that I have planned for tomorrow. So, I hope you'll join me. If you can join me live, that would be great. If you join me as a playback, that's also great. Leave your comments, and I will respond to them as soon as I see them and have an opportunity. But thank you so much for being here today. I really appreciate your company, appreciate your comments and your live chat. And again, if you're watching this as a playback, I really enjoyed spending time with you virtually. So let me know if you use the reading sprint to read something, what you read and how you found it. And if you have a recommendation, share that too, because I'm always looking to add more books to my TBR. Thank you so much, Erin, and my Cozy Little Library for joining and commenting. There were others who came in but didn't say anything for one reason or another. We appreciate them anyway, but thank you so much. And if you are new to Finding the Life, please subscribe to the channel. Get subscribe to get notified, so when I post, you'll be alerted. And I can't wait to talk with you again soon for another book chat. Hopefully tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow. So I'll see you then. Have a great afternoon or night or morning, wherever you are, and happy reading. Bye. Hey, Rumi24 reads 24. Rumi24 Runwright reads girly is popping in. We're just about to say bye because I have to run. But thank you so much for coming on, Rumi. I appreciate you being here. You're always one of my supporters, my number one fan. I love it. Thank you so much. We'll be here again tomorrow, and I hope you'll be able to join me live for the discussion tomorrow around this time, around midday Eastern Standard Time. So see you later. Happy reading. Bye.